You have tuned in to Be the Voice podcast, where we are using our voices to shatter the silence by promoting healing from past trauma, aiming for victorious living, and uplifting the work to improve our communities. It's time to be informed, encouraged, and empowered with your favorite host, Dee Marie. Well, good evening and welcome to Be the Voice podcast. This is your host, Dee Marie, and we are back. I was gone for 2 weeks. Just had some things I had to get caught up on, just some things I had to take care of. So I decided to take off 2 weeks to give myself a little bit of break. And but now I'm back, excited to be back. I always say that I'm just so excited, which I am, because that's just who I am. So but before we get started, I want to let you know that Be the Voice podcast is actually brought to you by Voices Magazine. And Voices Magazine is an online magazine that is tailored to the voices of sexual abuse survivors. And in the magazine, you will find a featured story of a survivor and how they are overcoming and living their best life now. And maybe not their best life, but they are aiming towards to live victoriously. And also you'll find the Counselor's Corner, tips and safety, healthy living, fashion and beauty. And we also spotlight organizations that are in the community doing the work. So even if you're not a survivor and you're thinking the magazine is not for you, I beg to differ. The magazine is for everybody. It will inform, encourage, and empower you. So if you want to get a copy of a magazine, go to vocesmagazine.com, and that's VOSAS magazine.com, and you can purchase your subscription there. Now, next month is April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And so we're going to have a special edition come out. Now, we've kind of delayed our magazine a little bit just, because of some technical issues, but we're getting all that together. We wanted to bring you just something that's going to be fantastic. So we're always looking ways to improve the magazine and to bring you quality and great content. So look forward to that magazine in April. April is a big month for us. We've always celebrated it for a long time. And I know maybe the word celebration and survivors, but of sexual abuse, but honestly, these are people that have overcome, and we celebrate their victory. Absolutely. So definitely looking forward to April, which is SAM. If you guys don't know about it, go check it out. Go to the NSVRC website. Or is it the National Sexual Violence Resource Center? Yes. So NSVRC, go to their website and find out what SAM is all about. And it is SAAM, and that's Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So that is April. I'll be shouting that out. Really just can't wait to, do things on social media and just kind of find out what's going on in our city. So without further ado, as you see, I have my co-host here today, which is my sister, Latonya Buford. She hasn't been here for a minute.
Right.
Because she
I already know where she finna go.
She out here, she like my mama working all these jobs. I ain't got time for all of that.
You do what you got to do.
You do what you got to do. I'm here just, trying to be a podcast host.
Right.
So we are back in the studio. It's always good that she's here because we always have a great time. And tonight we just want to talk about some things because this is March, and March is actually Women's History Month. Right. And we've had Girl Talk with Dr. Dawn Richards, and then I did the replay of Girl Talk with Tiffany Dorsey, who's the owner of Sugar's Couture Boutique. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to do some more girl talk, and we're going to talk about being better and not bitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when I told you that, I said, we're going to talk about being better and not bitter. What was kind of some things that came to your mind?
The first thing is just looking back over my life of everything that I've gone through that could possibly have made me bitter.
Yes.
Because we've all gone through a lot of things, a lot of different things, being women, especially Black women. Mm-hmm. And just looking back and rehearsing some things that I've been through, and amazed that I'm not bitter or crazy or somewhere rocking in the chair or somewhere. Really. Yeah. I mean, we laugh and we joke about it, but for real, when you think about it, it's amazing that we not, ready to give up and commit suicide just on some of the things. And that's just starting from childhood with what we went through. Yeah. And then having to deal with that, and then just life on top of it just happened. So yeah.
So one thing I thought about is I want to change the narrative. Mm-hmm. And I say that because a lot of times, again, we've been through sexual abuse, single parents, just some failed relationships,
Absolutely.
all of that. But again, we're not bitter about it. I mean, have I had bitter moments? Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
That's natural.
But that is not where I am and who I am
Right.
now. But I want to change the narrative. And I say that because a lot of times, we always say, we kind of dwell on, sometimes I think we can kind of dwell on those bad times, but I want to say, let's look forward to what's ahead.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Let's look forward to the great times that's coming, because you about to turn 50.
Right.
You about to turn 50. Okay. She about to turn 50.
Woo-hoo.
And I'm right behind her, because next year I'm turning 50. But I'm actually looking forward to that, because I'm thinking like, yeah, there were some things in my life that, didn't go as planned, but I don't know if I would change anything, because I would not be the woman who I am today.
I was just thinking, you took the words right out of my mouth. As a Bishop Greenlee is a bishop I used to be under.
Yeah,
and he's passed away recently. I'm so sad about that. But one thing he always said, and I remember to this day, is you don't look like what you've been through.
Yes.
And when I think about that, that is a powerful statement, because if we think about everything we've been through, but we don't look like that. So I promised myself this year, I'm going into my 50s, that the next half of my life is going to be the best half of my life.
Right.
My kids is grown.
Yes.
I got a grandbaby, but we're not going to talk about Dakota.
Dakota. Right. My MJ.
But I promised myself that the next half of my life is going to be, I would not change anything about my past, because like you said, it made me the person who I am.
So really, we do look like what we've been through, because we look amazing. Because we let those things that in our past create this beautiful women that we are now.
Right. And then I think about, it took us a while to get to a place that we are, but I wouldn't change it, because now, I'm glad I didn't rush into growing up and doing a whole lot of things that I could have done back then, because now I'm in a position, and it set me up to be in a better mind frame, walking into my 50s, knowing that, hey, it's about to be on and popping.
I know that's right.
I wouldn't change nothing.
Okay, because if you're going into your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, or wherever you're going, let's do it being better.
Absolutely.
And let's do it knowing that there are better days ahead, that God got some amazing plans for us, but we have to allow him to do that for us, so we can walk into whatever it is. Because I'm looking forward to more travel.
Me too.
Honestly, I mean, even just, okay, I'm not even gonna say travel. I'm looking forward to walking clearly in purpose, doing what God wants me to do, because I know that is where I will find fulfillment, and I will be totally happy, because you'll be doing what God wants you to do.
I think that we are better and not bitter, because we have learned how to let stuff go.
Ooh, that's good.
Because you grow up and you hold on to things, and it's a process. And that's where the healing comes in, to learn how to let those things go.
Yeah.
And so whatever stage you are, whatever age it is, when you learn how to start letting that stuff go,
that's true.
If you won't allow yourself to be bitter, it's only when you hold on to trauma or hurt or that you become bitter. But I think we have been in a position when we start, healing and letting a lot of things go. And we're not talking about just sexual abuse trauma, because that's just one trauma.
Right. That's just one
you go
thing.
through different traumas, and you can hold on to all of that. But when you learn how to release and let go, your whole mindset changes. The whole way you see yourself changes.
Yeah. No, that's good, because unfortunately we do see, I mean, there are women out there that have held on to and we're going to talk about relationships, held on to past relationships that have kept them bitter. And but when that happens, it's like you're not allowing those good things to come into your life. Like you said, we do have to let those things go, because we want to. And if you're watching, you want to invite those good things into your life.
You do.
You know what I'm saying?
You do.
And let God bring them. But God wants to heal us and do those things, but we have to do the work. Tiffany Dorsey said that. Do the work.
Right.
Do the work. We have to do the work in order to allow those great things to come into our lives.
You know what? It's about, and I try my best to do every so often, do a self-assessment.
Oh, that's
and
good.
we have to do a
Yeah.
self-evaluation
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
where I'm good,
Yeah.
where my, where my strengths are, where my weaknesses is, and where I need to work on, because we struggle as women
Mhm.
to really look at ourselves, because when you do, that means you have to see the good, the bad, and the
And
ugly about you.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's easy for us to see that in other people, but it's hard to see that in us.
Yeah.
And the only way you can really overcome bitterness is I have to check me.
Yep.
Because to be perfectly honest, we be wrong on a lot of stuff. You know, we do. We be wrong and don't want to face the stuff that we wrong about, but want to tell everybody else what they did to us. But think about what you did to yourself.
And we kind of do that too. So our personalities are kind of different.
Yeah. Very different.
Yeah, I'm more what'd you say? More direct.
Mm-hmm. That's a nice way of putting it.
But I'm a sweet person. Okay, don't let her. I'm not. But I'm more, I would say more direct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not with everybody, just probably with my family and my kids, where she is more of, I don't know, more the sensitive, I guess.
I would be the more sensitive,
so
emotional
sometimes
one.
and we talk about this too, we know
it clashes. It's like you would have thought you walked into World War III.
Our kids be like, okay, y'all, okay. Because, our communication styles are so different.
Very, 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 very.
And so sometimes we clash. But like you tell me, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I hear you, what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, well, let me just, try to approach it a different way. But but like you said, we have to look inside and say, okay, what am I doing that I can become better?
Absolutely.
For other people, what can I do? Because yes, I know I can come off as being harsh, sometimes. So what can I do about that so I'm not harsh? Because my mind is like, well, just get your feelings off your sleeve and you'll be all right.
And I have to constantly tell her, everybody not set up that way. You can't approach everybody that way.
Right.
But yeah, it's about taking self-evaluation, self-assessment on yourself and learning what it is that you need to change, and then be willing to face it.
Yes.
Because it's hard for us to face us. And that's why a lot of times you have to go. And I think Tia was one that really inspired me with her mirror. She put affirmations and stuff about herself.
Did you see? You saw that?
No, I think you told me.
Yeah.
And I think she said one. And I think that's wonderful. We have to start affirming ourselves. And that means first digging out the stuff that's not right, checking it, getting it together, and then lifting yourself back up, because we so busy looking for outside sources to build us. What happens when the outside sources are gone? Exactly. That's the one thing about social media I don't like.
Yeah, that's true.
We are such a social media society. If I like your picture, if I love it, then that builds you up. But what happens when the internet goes down?
Exactly. When the likes stop.
We got to be able to be okay when we're not getting encouragement from outside. That's why we have to learn how to encourage ourselves and be able to walk in that encouragement and know it's okay.
Yeah. But you're right. Tia, my daughter Tia, she used to do that. I saw like little affirmations, and I was like, wow, that's awesome that she does that. And also too, so my therapist, yes, I have a therapist, and I actually need to make an appointment. So if you need to make an appointment, you need
I
to
was just thinking about that today. I said I gotta call mine or find me another one.
Yeah. So when I first started going to her, I think in our first meeting, what she said to me was, when you go home, I want you to look in the mirror. I want you to write down how you see yourself. And then I want you to write down how you would like to see yourself. And I was like, oh, that was kind of, it took me a minute to do it. But I probably need to go back and look at my notes just to kind of see what I said. But basically, that's that self-reflection. Like when I look at myself, we see ourselves in certain ways, but what truly do I see?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What I like, what I don't like, what I want to change, and somebody told me last night in a phone conversation, he said, just like in the movie, Why Did I Get Married? When Jill Scott was dating Sheriff Troy. Oh, Sheriff Troy. I love me some Sheriff Troy.
Right.
But she was dating Sheriff Troy, and she was talking about her weight. And he said, well, I like you as you are, but if there's something that you don't like, change it.
Absolutely. It's up to us to do the work. I recommend to anybody, and we grown, especially women, because we have a really bad outlook on our figure, and the media is so horrible in making us feel bad about being heavy set with plus size women. Go and look in the mirror naked. I say that because you have to be able to face who you are completely naked. If you can be completely naked with yourself physically, you can be completely naked with yourself mentally. But it starts with how you feel or look on the outside. So women, whatever size shape you are, go to a mirror naked and look at yourself. That's good. And then evaluate yourself, and you will realize that it's not as bad as you think it is. My daughter always tell me, I have body dysmorphia. What? Mia tells me that all of the time. She always say, "Mama, you always say you're bigger than what you are," and I know I do. I do. So sometimes I have to look at myself naked in the mirror and be like, "Okay, what is it about me that I like? What is it about me I need to change?" And not for nobody else. It has to be for me. It has to be for me. And then guess what? Start doing those things that I need to change. But go look at, ladies. I'm telling you. Go look in your mirror, naked. And that way you can't hide from who you are. And I promise you, when you do it physically, it's going to show, you're going to show it mentally. And get one of those full body. Absolutely. Not the half ones that come. No, right. Body, so you won't miss anything. You won't miss anything.
And I think my issue, and as we're talking about weight, because this is girl talk, because I was skinny growing up, like a stick, I couldn't gain weight to save my life, and now obviously things have changed. And so for me, this is the heaviest I've ever been. I'm just being transparent, and and it's like, gosh, but if I'm not happy with it, but then, and I want to change it, then I have to do something. But I can't keep eating Chick-fil-A and all this stuff like I do and think the weight's going to go anywhere. So I'm going to stop complaining. And if I want to change, how I look or what I'm doing, then I need to do that, and stop complaining and start, because there is no magic pill to losing weight.
No, there's not.
Eat right and exercise, and the weight will fall off. Drink tons of water. There is no magic pill. That is what is going to cause you to, there's other things that'll help you, but honestly, if you just eat right, drink water, exercise, the weight will come off.
And then I want to say this. So 15 years ago, my little short testimony, I had gastric bypass surgery. I went into it to lose the weight so I could change me physically, thinking that would help everything else. Right. I realized that I lost the weight, but guess what? I didn't lose my thinking or the way I was. So I lost it. I was skinny. I was feeling good about how I was looking, but mentally I still was not okay. I have since gained a portion of that weight back, but I tell anybody now, I am the most confident and the most relaxed and more into me than I ever have been in my entire life. And I realized that has nothing to do with the weight. Because whether the weight come or go, I have to be happy with me, because I have to live with me every day. So the weight didn't make me happy or sad, but it didn't make me just overly happy. But when I start healing, when I start being confident, when I start opening up and being truly who Tanya was, the weight didn't matter, big, small, or indifferent. I am the happiest now walking into my 50 that gained 60 some pounds back. But the way I am mentally, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
That's good. And two, I think also is that we, like you said, we look at outside people.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because even like your friends or whoever, they see you heavy. They don't, it's not like they trying to, like, okay, I do have one friend, I think that's your mom. She would tell me the truth. Like, girl, you put on too much weight. You know what I'm saying? But as friends, we need to encourage one another.
Absolutely.
And don't talk about each other, because, we put on weight or whatever, but and not just weight, we just talk about weight because that's what we got on. But just anything. We need to encourage one another because all of us, my thing is, I want all of us to win.
Absolutely.
And I want all of us to be better and to, have better things and live better places and all of that, have a better relationship with God, all of that.
Right.
But we have to encourage one another.
We do. And that's why you have to watch your support group and know who I tell people all the time, know your circle. Know who you are, because everybody in your circle is probably not everybody that you run to all the time. You know the ones, you can have a big circle, but there is a smaller inner circle that they gonna tell you the truth. They gonna support you. They gonna have your back. And they, regardless. And I know who my circle is. They the ones who's been there and gonna push me and always help me step outside my box. That's what you want. Somebody who gonna help you step outside your box.
Now that is true. Step outside that box, because unfortunately, if you're with people that are in this box, you're gonna stay right in it, because that's kind of where y'all comfort zone is. So I actually made a decision too this year, 2023, and I think I've been doing pretty good about that, is meeting new people. It's just getting outside of my comfort zone and meeting new people, and not necessarily just to gain more friends, but just to, even with the podcast, and just to get to know, different people. You never know. You might find a mentor.
Absolutely.
You might find somebody that's going to inspire you. It might be somebody that, God's putting in your path, whatever, but that has been my goal.
Absolutely. And it's just all about stepping outside that comfort zone. You cannot keep yourself locked in a box, because inside that box is your pain and your hurt and all of those things that make you bitter. And you get to a point where you sit in that spot and you fester. But the only way to get out of that is you got to move out of it. And it takes you to do it. You have got to do it.
And just think, bitterness will, like, who wants to live in bitterness?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when you can grow out of that and let that bitterness go and become better. I mean, it's like your world will get better. Like, you'll begin to walk out and just smile. And I know people tell me all the time, you smile all the time. That's just kind of my personality, but I'm really not bitter.
Right.
I mean, I don't have anything to be bitter about. Now, have I been bitter in the past? Yeah. Do I have bad days where I am bitter? Yes. But I don't live in that.
Absolutely. Bitterness is like a sore that gets an infection. When you let that infection fester without applying any type of medication to it, it eventually spreads and you start losing limbs.
Oh, that's good.
So if we heal and let that sore and put the medication on it, we won't have bitterness, and then we can look at the sore and know that's what I've been through, but it don't hurt me anymore. It don't hurt.
Exactly.
So if we do what we have to do to get rid of the bitterness and not sit in that place, we don't allow it to become an infection and become a sore, because bitterness will end up making you be by yourself and alone, because you're going to start losing limbs. You're going to start losing your confidence. You're going to start losing your friends and your family. So that bitterness infection spreads outward from you. But if you heal and put the medication as far as doing the work to get past the bitterness and letting stuff go, guess what? That infection ain't there. And then you can look at where you've been and it won't hurt you anymore. And it won't bother you anymore. I got scars on me now that I can look at and be like, I know what happened. That's what happened. But guess what? I can look at it and keep on moving, because it don't bother me anymore. It don't
bother me. I know that's right. Yeah.
And that's what it is. You got to let stuff go so it won't bother you. I can remember it. The memory's going to always be there. But guess what? It doesn't bother me anymore.
Because, and then you'll be freer.
Absolutely.
You'll be freer. And then the things that do come up, you can just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to shake that off and keep going, because I try my best not to hold on to things, because, I mean, it's just so much life and love and laughter and happiness. You know
what? And I say this because your son and my daughter have inspired me so much.
Oh my gosh.
And they are so young, but they are living their life at the age that they are now. I have never dreamed that that is possible. But seeing them live life has inspired me. You know what? I need to live.
Yes. When I say they travel, that is an understatement. They travel. And I was like, man, when I was 20, how old was me? 22 and 25. I wasn't even thinking about, I was having babies. I wasn't even thinking about traveling. But just to see them, it brings me joy. I know bring you joy.
Absolutely,
too, I'm like, man, that's inspiring. Like, let me go on and get me a plane ticket, get out of here.
Right. Without any, what I worry, no worry or anything. They just gone. They living life.
Living life.
And I
living
said,
life.
and that's my thing for my 50. I'm walking into life, living it and embracing all of me.
Yeah.
That's my thing for my 50, that I'm taking this time to embrace all of me.
Yes.
Whatever way that is, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever shape it come in, I have to embrace all of it.
And someone told me 2 years ago, a guy, he told me, he said, confidence is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when you become better, you will gain that confidence.
Absolutely, you
of
will.
who you are, and not arrogance, but confidence.
Right. There's a difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Just knowing who you are and being okay with who you are. And I mean, I just think it's just that when you lose bitterness, I just think that, to me, it's gonna be a life that you probably didn't think that you could live.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you, like you said, it's a mindset. If I stay in that spot, I'm so busy thinking about what happened to me, I'm not allowing good thoughts for what's going to happen, what's coming to happen, because I'm so stuck in that place of hurt or pain or wanting to get revenge or being mad. And, you know.
Yeah. And also too, Dr. B, who was our youth pastor at my old church, he said too that year after year you should be growing.
Absolutely.
You know, he's talking about an organization, but I took it as, you know, like, you know, something personal for me.
Mm-hmm.
But every year you should be growing.
Mm-hmm.
And which means, like, this is 2023. In 2033, I shouldn't be the same Dee that I was this year.
Right.
I should be growing and getting better every year. And so, like you said, I try to do self-evaluations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you know, I don't want to be in the same place that I was last year.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I look back like, you know, and it does get better, but every year, just think back some things that, you know what, I was here, but I don't want to be here next year. And one thing me and Kira say all the time too, like, we'll have a conversation about something, and then we say, okay, this right here, we won't talk about ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to say, we're going to correct this.
Right.
And we're not going to talk about this.
Right.
Now we might talk about something else, but it won't be this, because we getting past this.
Right. Right. And you know what the thing about it is, we have to be intentional in it.
Yes.
Everything is about being intentional.
Yes.
And consistent.
And
it's hard work.
Yes.
It's
That's
hard
my words
work
for 2023.
Intentional and consistent.
Yep.
It has to be intentional, especially if you want things to be different.
Yeah.
You cannot lackadaisically do anything.
Yeah.
It has to be intentional in progress and moving forward, in your healing, in overcoming, in letting go. It's got to be intentional.
It's got to be intentional.
Part of that is forgiveness, though.
That is that's a whole podcast by itself.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But you got to, and it's hard to forgive people who did things for you without ever hearing "I'm sorry" from them.
Yeah.
But we have to learn how to forgive. I never forget it. The biggest impact on me was when I was 9 years old. You know the story. Is when I looked in the mirror, because when growing up as 9 years, I thought I was the ugliest thing in the world. I thought I was so ugly. And I looked in the mirror one day, I'll never forget it. And I said, I forgive you out loud to our abuser. Not that he even knew, not that I ever got a change, because I said it out loud and I believe what I said. Instantly, my reflection in the mirror changed. I no longer saw the ugly little girl. I saw a pretty little girl, and it amazed me. I was like, wow. And then I didn't really understand what happened or why I did, but I knew I saw a change. So that just goes to show you, forgiveness goes a long way, and it'll help you release some of those things. Forgiveness does not mean that I have to still deal with that person. And I think it just means I'm letting it go.
And I think people hold on to forgiveness because they think if they hold on to unforgiveness because they think if they forgive, then they're releasing the person of what they did. And that's not even it. It's not even about them
at all.
It truly is about you, because if you walk around with unforgiveness, the person that did the offense or, you know, do whatever to you, they've gone on with their lives.
Absolutely.
Like they live in their lives. Have you ever seen somebody that did something to you or maybe owed you some money, you know, or whatever, and you see they living their best life?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't thought no more about you, about your money, and nothing they living, and you over here festering.
Right.
Like you can't even live because you are so upset about this person. You know, honestly, at some point, if you actually forgive them
Mm-hmm.
and move on, you ain't festering no more. Now you can live and you ain't even worried about what they're doing.
Absolutely.
You know, but you know, that person has gone on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that is what hurts too, because people feel like that they should have known what they did
Right.
to you and should be living like, I guess, like sad or
right,
sorry
because of how they
or
hurt you.
yeah, but they have gone on.
Right.
So sometimes you just have to accept an apology that you would never get.
And not just that, you have to forgive you.
Yeah.
You have got to forgive yourself. We are so critical of ourselves on things that we've done, situations that we have allowed to happen, or situation we put ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
We have got to forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
We forgive everybody else on the outside. Learn how to forgive you.
Yeah.
It starts there.
It does. Now that it truly starts there. and be sincere about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like you said, and be intentional. I mean, anything that you do that is going to allow you to be better, you have to be intentional about it.
Absolutely.
Because there are things that you do like routinely, and if it's not working for you, you kind of sometimes have to unlearn and then relearn.
Why me and I say Pee-wee, Nicole, Kathy, we was just talking about this in my small group about how sometimes we have to unlearn stuff. Stuff, learn behavior. Some of it is not good for us. So we have to unlearn things that we have been raised, the way we've been raised. Stuff we learned in church that was wrong. So let's be real. Let's be real. We having for real girl talk. We grown. It's some stuff that you learned in church that was not right.
Was not right.
So we have to unlearn all of that thing and reprogram ourselves so that we can get back on the track that God wants us on, because our journey is not everybody else's journey.
And two, I think when you unlearn and try to relearn, it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
And when it becomes uncomfortable, that is when change can take place. Because nothing, what does it say? Nothing great or something. I don't know if that's the quote, but it happens inside of your comfort zone.
Nothing.
Like you have to get out, and it's going to be uncomfortable because you got to change those habits that you've had. For here we are, 48, 49, we've had these habits all our lives. So now at this age, going into 50, we're going to have to change up those habits, get new habits, and actually be intentional and consistent about walking in those things.
Absolutely. What they say, anything you do within 30 days straight becomes a habit.
Yeah.
And then I know Joseph Price, our music minister, used to say all the time, practice makes permanent.
Oh, that's
so when
good.
I practice intentionality, it becomes permanent.
Now that's really good.
Yeah, he said all the time, practice makes permanent, not
perfect.
Right.
Practice makes perfect.
Permanent.
Permanent. Yeah.
Practice makes permanent.
Yeah. Because it's not always going to be perfect.
No.
But but you can always progress. What does it say? Progression, not perfection.
Right.
So that means to be intentional, to be consistent on those things that you want to do that's going to allow yourself to be better. So actually, I wish I had I don't have it now, but I wish I had it. So I wrote myself a what do you call it? Oh my goodness.
Bucket list?
No. You know when you write yourself something inspirational?
You wrote yourself a letter?
Is it
a daily affirmation?
Okay, I'm gonna say affirmation. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
But I wrote myself a long affirmation, and I kind of just went through, and I need to go read it. I have not read it since probably last year, but just kind of going through the stuff that I just declare over myself, like who I'm gonna be, the things I want to do intentionally, and my goal was to read it every morning. So I have not read it every morning in a while, but I'm actually gonna go back to it. But I think those habits are good to create too.
You know what? Technology is wonderful. And I say that because apps, anything you need is in an app. So I found a daily affirmation app.
Okay.
And what it does is send me affirmations throughout the day per the topics that I pick. So when I open the app, it says, what do you want to work on? So nice. I pick the certain topics that I want, and throughout my day, it'll send me certain affirmations pertaining to what I want to work on.
Oh, nice.
And so like all day I've been getting affirmations of this, and then I can read them. And I'm reading them myself out loud as I'm reading. That's a way to affirm. I'm telling y'all, anything you want, you can find on Apple Store, Google Store, Microsoft Store.
So one thing that I'm trying to do to be intentional about making some changes and staying on top of it, because if anyone knows me, knows I'm late everywhere. Okay. That's just who I've been, but not who I want to be. But we being real, I'm late. Well, no matter what is happening, I cannot get there on time. I don't care if I wake up 5 hours ahead of time. I'm gonna find a way to be late. I don't know what that's about.
You're always tardy to the party.
Always tardy to the party. And I'm a very free spirit, so I don't always like to live by a schedule. Mm-hmm. So, but with that being said, has not always served me. Mm-hmm. So, not served me right anyway. So, my goal is to use my phone, the calendar, intentionally, just to put everything in there, because then I don't have to remember it. Mm-hmm. It'll be there.
Right.
So that is that's one of my goals. I'm saying it out loud. Accountability.
Right.
So that is one of my goals, because I want to stop being late everywhere I go.
Right.
But I'm late all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I think one of my big goals is to take more time for meditation and just me, and to just sit and just meditate, or like you say, self-evaluate. We've been saying that. And just take some time to check, okay, did I do this? Do I need to work on this? And just take time, even if it's just like 5 minutes a day, if it's at the beginning of my day or my end of the day, so I can recess and, figure out what I need to change, what I need to work on, how did my day go? For me, just so I have always be in the right mind and knowing what's best for me.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to just escape, be silent, and just breathe.
Yes.
And we have to take time for ourselves to do that.
Yeah, we do. No, there's this thing called mindfulness. Okay, so I'm not a therapist. I kind of know what it is, but kind of don't. So what it is, and I may not say this right, so you guys look it up. It's called mindfulness. And it allows you to kind of sit still. It's like a breathing kind of exercise. You breathe, and I think you think of like maybe good thoughts. I don't know for sure, but I know I've heard therapists that use it, and they say it's really good. So that's another thing I want to try to look up, mindfulness. So it's basically allowing you to, I guess, be mindful of your breathing.
It's supposed to way to relax you.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? Just ways to anything that helps you relieve some stress, relieve some of that. You'd be surprised the amount of activities and stuff. We need to learn how to get away from our phones.
And how to sit down.
And not just, even if it's just going to take a walk in the park, enjoy nature, get outside. Yeah. We are so set up for a busy life. Yeah. We are so busy with just busyness.
Go,
that we don't take no time to do anything.
Yeah.
And for our mental and our physical health, we have to take those time. We have to take those breaks. So we're doing nothing.
I'm gonna say about 5 to 7 years ago, I did a personal retreat. And I went to the Missouri Botanical Garden, and it was like from like 7:30 a.m. to like noon. And I was just there by myself. I found me a spot. I had on some worship music. I and just walked around, enjoyed the nature. And I don't even like insects. But they was out there, but that was their home, so I had to deal with them that day. But it was so just relaxing. It was just me and God and the nature and the animals and the birds and the insects, and it was probably one of the best times that I had. And I took photos of like the different plants and stuff that they had out there, the flowers, the water, all of that, and it was a amazing time.
Yeah, we have to learn how to date ourselves.
Yeah,
but that's a whole nother topic of conversation. But it'll help you with a lot of things, with your bitterness, with just being able to enjoy you.
Yeah.
When you can learn how to enjoy yourself, you don't have to worry about all the other stuff that's going to melt away, because part of bitterness means that I'm mad at me too for what happened.
Yes.
So we have to learn how to let all of that go. And a lot of times it's just with escaping, even if it's just for a little while, just for an hour, and just really sit down, like you said. If it takes worship music, if it's just me with a journal, sometimes writing stuff down, if it takes me going somewhere in the park and just screaming until I get it off. Do what you have to do, but you got to release it, because otherwise you're going to always be stuck in this place. And life is too short.
It is too short. And too, because, and I'm saying this because I kind of was this way, but enjoy learning how to be with just you.
Yes.
Because like I used to come home, I had the TV on, the whatever, just always noise. I had to have people around. But once the kids left, and they were all gone, when I say I discovered, like, the TV wasn't even on, I loved being by myself. And I was like, I have never enjoyed being by myself like this, because there's always people around. And you know me, I love people and I love go.
Right.
But it was like, I mean, now to the point where it's almost to the point where that's all I want to do. Now the kids all back, and it's like, man, I was by myself for a minute. So yeah, I got to the point where I really enjoyed it. But yeah, we got to learn how to just enjoy that time with just us.
Right. And not be afraid to face us. Because a lot of times when it's just us, that means I have to face everything. And that's why I promise you, ladies, go look in that mirror naked. It'll work. It'll work.
Yeah, that's something good. Like, ladies, do it. Go look in the mirror naked and
you know what? And don't even do nothing. Just stand there.
Yep.
Just stand there and look at you. I promise you a whole lot of stuff will come out just because of that. You don't realize what you have all pent up on the inside of you until you do something like that. And you have to face it naked,
and you have to,
without any cover, without any mask, no makeup.
No makeup.
It's just you and you.
Yeah.
It's just you and you.
Yeah.
And you will see all your flaws, but at the same time, you will start to see the good things about you, the things that you like, and then the things that you need to change.
Yeah.
And it's all okay.
And it is all okay. It is all okay. Dee Marie has a song called Private Party. And you know, that's my favorite artist. And so she said, I'm having a private party. Nobody here, just me, myself, my angels, and she plays the guitar and my guitar. And just saying how proud of the woman she's become.
Yes.
You know, but if you haven't listened to that song, it's an older song. So it's one of her earlier.
One of her first albums.
Yeah. But it's called Private Party. And basically she was like, she had called her mom, she called her boyfriend, nobody was available. So she had her own little private party. And I think she started feeling pity at first. And then she was like, look in the mirror and said, I'm proud of the woman that you have become. So I want to challenge you women to do that too. Look in the mirror, and you can do it naked or, you know, not so naked, however you want to do. And just look at yourself and think of something that you are proud of. Because, you know, some people might say, well, I don't have anything that I'm really proud of. But there is something in your life that you could be proud about. And just say, you know, I am proud of the woman that you have become.
Absolutely. You know what? The one thing that the pandemic has taught us, that you never know when you're going to be put in a position where you have to be shut in by yourself.
Yes.
And when they first told us that we had to work from home, I was like, and then when we went into where couldn't nobody go to the store and stuff, I almost went into a panic. Cause I was like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? I can't get out my house. I'm stuck at home all day. But the more I did, the more I realized, you know what? I enjoy this.
I know.
I enjoy it. So if we didn't take any lessons out of pandemic, we have to take the lesson of we have to learn how to be okay with not being around people. And being the pandemic, COVID, forced us to do it. But it forced some people to take. If you think about it, out of COVID came so many small businesses, people creating their own thing, people discovering their own dream, to the point where a lot of people didn't even want to go back to their job. They start creating. So you never know what's on the inside of you until you have to face you.
Yes, because the thing is, because you know, I even said it too, I'm not creative, but yes, we have so many gifts, talents, creativity, things that God has put in us, but because it could be because of bitterness or whatever, you know, in survival mode or whatever, and you have never discovered truly what is on the inside of you. And if you spend that time with yourself and really get to know yourself, you'll discover some of the things that you love to do that you even realize that you would love to do.
And you see a whole new outlook on the way you live your life now. And then that'll begin you wanting to change, wanting to see those things, wanting to work your talents, wanting to work your gifts, you know? So I say if COVID didn't teach us nothing else, it taught us that we got to face us.
We do.
We got to deal with you. Because guess what? It might be happening. We shut down again. Hopefully not,
but if it does, right. But be okay with discovering who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So last minute thoughts. Anything that you want to say last minute?
I'm still on that mirror thing. I'm on it. And basically just to say, take the time to discover who you are, look at you, face you, and let it go.
Yeah.
Let all that stress, the trauma, and if you have to cry it out, it's okay. If the tears come, it's okay. Because guess what? Tears is release, like the rain. It's raining outside now,
right?
But the rain is a washing away.
Yeah.
Of all of the dirt, all of the grime, and all of the stress that's on the earth. Your tears are your way of washing away the hurt and the bitterness that's on the inside of you. So don't try to hide the tears. Let them flow.
Yeah.
Let them flow.
Yeah.
So you can release.
Yes.
That's my word for the day. Release.
Release. Yes. Release all that anger, that bitterness, that unforgiveness.
Yes.
Any hate, jealousy, envy,
release it.
That's good. That's good. I guess just to piggyback kind of what she said, just to release it so that we can be better and not bitter, because every day should be, a day, God help me be better than I was yesterday. Yeah, it's baby steps.
Right. And last thing, we want you to live your best life. Not a social media best life, but be living your best life for real. So the pictures we see on social media, those are your real pictures, because that's what you really, it ain't Snapchat with a filter. Ain't no filter on that. You living your best life intentionally, consistently, and on purpose.
Yes. All right. With that, we're going to wrap it up. But again, thank you all so much for always tuning in to Be the Voice podcast. And we talk about creativity. This is something God gave me to do. I absolutely love doing it. I love talking to you all, bringing on guests. Well, she's kind of my co-host, She's working all the time now, but we don't get her on. But tell them about your business that you're doing now.
So I have started. I am now officially an independent travel agent.
Okay.
So if you need me for any of your travel
to live your best life,
because I promise I'm going to use it for myself.
I know that's
and live my best life.
Right.
So if you want to tag along with me,
okay,
come on, get at me. You can find me on Facebook, all media platforms, Latonya Buford or L Buford
or LB 2000.
Right, L Buford 2000. You can reach out to me on Instagram, Snapchat, Marco Polo, TikTok, Facebook. If it's social media, I'm probably on there.
Yeah. So if you want to travel, to have Tanya find you some places to go, she is your new travel agent. Get with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because I'm on it. I got some things I want to go to now.
Right. So I'm not going to be sending her to New York every other week.
New York. That's my city. That's my city. I don't know if I will ever live there one day, but I will be a frequent visitor, like all the time, to New York. That is my city. So again, thank you all for tuning in to Be the Voice podcast. We always appreciate you guys listening. Make sure you share the pages, share our YouTube channel, and you can find us anywhere podcasts are available at Be the Voice Podcast. And we're on YouTube, Be the Voice Podcast. So be sure to let everyone know to tune in. We want to get our messages out to everybody. Absolutely. This is something we really enjoy doing. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week. We're going to be talking heart health with an amazing lady, and I can't wait to bring her on. So be sure to tune in. I think next week is still next week is
it's still Women's History
Month. Okay. So next week is still March, which is Women's History Month. But be sure to also tune in for April, which is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we're gonna have some great things coming up that month. Can't wait for that. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will check you out and see you, or you check us out, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye.